So while you're on the list, you'll have quarterly blood work done, and we're checking your antibodies to see what the levels are, and that is also giving us a sample of your blood to have to be able to do a cross match with any potential deceased donor that may come up for you. We need you to stay up to date with your cancer screenings. You need to come to your reevaluation appointments. We see you every year to make sure that you're healthy enough to stay on the list. You need to notify us of any changes in your health insurance. We run insurance prior to you seeing us. We run insurance at the first of the year because we know everybody can change. And we will run it right if we're calling you for a transplant. But there's probably been half a dozen times where I've had people on a list and we can't transplant them because their insurance either isn't current or it's changed. And then at the time while you're on the list, try to maintain or optimize your health, whether it means losing weight, exercising more, and then you can continue to seek out donors anytime that you're on the list. I'm working with the donor and recipient team. The donor just came up and said, hey, I didn't realize you need a kidney, and my recipient's been on the list for 5 years. So they're gonna be transplanted in a couple of months. So anytime a donor becomes available, we can then get you transplanted. So the list is maintained by this organization. We call it UNOS. It's the United Network for Organ Sharing. What happens is when you are listed, we put your birth date and all your information in the computer, and then they keep the list. And then they look at how much time you have on the list, what your blood type is, what your tissue type is, and it's just the organization that keeps everything fair and ethical. And if you want to look up information, you can go to unos.org, and then you have lists for all the websites in your package. So, for deceased donor transplants, they literally happen any time of the day or night. They can happen on Christmas, they can happen on Super Bowl Sunday, they can happen at any time. We need to have current working phone numbers for you. I used to say, like, when you got your new cell phone, your first call besides your mom needed to be to me, so we'd have a current number. But I mean, I've called 6 people today just from the office, and I've had voicemail is full. This number is not in service. If I'm calling you and I can't get in touch with you, then you will be missed for a transplant if it's your name has come up on the offer. We don't always text because we don't text from our office phones. It may be an unknown number. It could be a number you don't recognize, like Doximity shows up when we're calling from the hospital. But we need to have either your number or anybody that can go find you. I did once, with 1 minute to spare, track down a family member who drove from Oceanside to Escondido to wake up the family member who wasn't answering their phone. So he had 1 minute or that kidney was gonna go off to somebody else. So we need to be able to get in touch with you, and you need to have a voicemail that's set up. And if you need help setting up your voicemail, we can help you. Because I've one patient go, I don't know how to set up my voicemail, I don't use it. I'm like, okay, but you do now. And then if you have family members we can call, friends we can call, well, I'll call any number I can find. So when I call you, I'll say, hi, this is Sarah and I'm